the tragedy, the atrocity that was done with this fairy tale episode. This needs to be addressed. I can't let this go under the radar. They censored out a scene from the manga that was very vital and overall a central point to the plot of what's going on throughout the entire story and where it's all leading to. Natsu was supposed to grab Lucy's tits. So this week's episode was jam-packed with filler scenes, a lot of comedy from different characters that kind of really didn't do anything in this particular arc. And ultimately, it was just really one of those episodes where it's like, take it or leave it. It had a couple of interesting bits and a couple of things that kind of progressed slightly certain aspects of the story. But for the most part, a lot of it was really just filler, jokes, and tits. So for starters, you got a couple of Blue Pegasus members and a couple different people going up against the dragons. I mean, Ichiya Perfume, and Jenny, Jenny, beautiful body, sexy girl. It's dragons. How are you trying to seduce a fucking dragon? What? You gonna let him climb on top of you? Like, really? I mean, the way they did things in this episode, I was just like, if you're gonna do filler, why make it like men and perfume and shit? Like, they could have done a couple different things, but ultimately it was like, some of the filler that they had in this episode, it was just, And for the most part, again, a big chunk of it was filler. We did get the entrance of Cobra, and he's pretty much fucking up some of the dragons he's going in, so he did look badass. That was one of the cool aspects of it. And I guess, okay, Cobra is already on the scene, and he's already going to town on the dragons, so we got the Dragon Slayers are already going in little by little. Loxus, all of them, got Gio, Wendy, they're all kind of going in. So if anything that this episode added was that the Dragon Slayers had begun their counterattack against the dragons. We got a little bit more of Natsu and Future Road fighting. For the most part, nothing too spectacular, because I mean, we've been seeing them fight for a while, but I guess, you know, they're still fighting, so we got a little bit more of them duking it out. But the amount of fan service this episode, this was one of those episodes where I was trying to mainly drive home that Lucy has a very dynamite body. That was really all I felt that this episode was trying to do. It was like, you got Lucy naked, you know, Zirconi's magic, a dragon, a fierce, ferocious beast, and his magic is to turn people naked. Like, he takes people's clothes off, and it's like, that was a plot device and a half just to get Lucy butt-ass naked. And the funny thing is, even though the anime was littered with this, they still had to censor down some shit that went down in the manga, because there was a scene where she's butt-ass naked and Natsu holds her tits to cover them up. There was a scene where it looks like he's doing her straight-up missionary. It was like, they had to censor up a lot of shit, but yet again, the episode was still riddled with fan service. I mean, at the end of the day, a little fan service is fine, but when an entire episode, for the most part, is focused on Lucy Heartfilia's body, you know something's wrong. I mean, especially in the midst of a fight. I mean, unless it has something to do with the strategy, ultimately it's just like, why the fuck is the entire episode focused around Lucy naked when there's dragons, these fucking ferocious beasts? And it's just, hey, Lucy's pretty fucking hot when she's naked. And ultimately, this was one of those episodes where it's just filled with filler and ecchi scenes. There was a little bit of good bits where the Dragon Slayers were attacking, so we got a little bit more set up with a couple different fights. And probably one of the biggest progressive things was Lucy found the journal from future Lucy, so maybe it'll help to give them some pointers or some things that might happen in the future, or just a clue as to what to do in order to stop them. So those were the good aspects of the episode. So we got slight progression, but as a whole, it was just like one of those episodes where you take small little aspects like Jalal showing up on the scene with Erza, the Dragon Slayers started their counterattack, and you throw it into a whole other episode, because other than that, it was just jokes and tits. Jokes and tits. And while I love some of that, that's not what makes a great episode, or even a good episode for that matter, when half the time I'm just thinking, God damn, Lucy, you're fit. So overall, I'm going to give this episode 4 out of 10. It had some decent stuff going on, but it was just in the midst of so much BS of, like, trying to just get someone rock hard. And it's like, yeah, I like my jokes every now and then, but goddamn, they went in on a very important episode at that, where you're fighting dragons, Lucy's tits. Let me know what you guys think. First of all, were you just devastated by the atrocity of them bleeping out? I mean, if you're going to go all the way with the fan service, why not just go all the way and show everything? Like, how did you feel about that if you're a manga reader and you've seen that? Also, overall thoughts of the episode in general. I mean, there was some decent things going on, but it was just in the midst of a bunch of filler and fan service, and it's like, But that's all I have for this review. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed, if you could do so as well, that'd be awesome. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day.